What was it like seeing number 44 back in the building today?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think that's just kind of just be how he is. Like, he's gonna hate sitting at home and whatnot. So I'm sure that he'll be around here a lot. It was good to see his face for sure.
Sorry, we all know him to bring such a good energy to the team. What's the energy like just a couple days after surgery?
For him?
Yeah, and that he's bringing to the team, just being back here. And Dable said that he's not only here, but he's sitting in meetings.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like like you said, he's just that energy guy. Like, obviously he's down with kind of what happened and his injury and whatnot, but at the same time, he's a great teammate. Wants all the guys around to succeed. So I don't really expect much differently from him as a person, and then at the same time, him just going to be a continual leader because we have conversations all the time. Like, we feel like we're going to be here for a very long time. So that's kind of the impact that he brings to the table, and he wants to be consistent with that.
How do you replace that energy on the field? I know there's production and then there's the energy. How do you replace the energy?
I mean, other guys just kind of have to pick it up. It's just the name of it, and it'll be a little different without him out there just yelling and whatnot. But we got some good guys in the building to kind of pick up there.
A little quieter today on the field without him?
A little bit for sure.
What's the biggest challenge that you see that the Niners defensive front, especially the pass rush, brings to the table?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me initially, just obviously early week watching tape, is ball disruption, creating turnovers. 2 or 3 games were won for them off of on the defensive side, punching the ball out late at the end of the games to seal games. So they're ball disruptors. They fly around. They've been banged up a little bit with injuries, but they play really hard and they play physical and fast. So it's going to be a really good challenge for us.
Jaxson, as a young guy, a lot is on your plate already. How do you had what, 2 quarters with Malik? Less than 2 quarters?
Yeah.
Right? And, not enough time with Cam, obviously. How do you kind of get this offensive group together and say, we have enough here? Do you believe you have enough here, and do you think they need to hear that from you?
I mean, I don't think they need to hear much from me. I mean, I have overwhelming confidence in all the guys that step on the field with me, and I never have any doubt when I'm on the field. So they all know that. It's just kind of our conversations during practice and whatnot. So I don't think that that's really a thing that really is concerned internally with us. But yeah, there's been a lot of just different plug and play situations. Obviously, we've been a little banged up at some skill position spots with Malik, and then Slay missing time and whatnot. So and obviously with Scat, but we're just trying to work, and guys are going to be able to step up. And that's just part of the NFL. Like, every team's going to have injuries and whatnot, and you got to be able to weather the storms of those. And we got a lot of good guys in the building.
It comes at you fast, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Jaxson, what are your early thoughts on Ray Ray?
Yeah, he's explosive. Watched a lot of his tape when I heard that he was coming here, and then obviously just following his career. Seeing that the reception numbers that he puts up, how explosive he is. Especially when he has the ball in his hand and run after catch stuff. So I think that's just kind of like the word to describe him. And it's been good to have him in the facility because he's a great worker and he's around late. So I'm excited to have him.
What has Jameis meant to you? Because obviously we've seen you guys talking after games, just he's giving some good advice. What has he meant to you through this whole process of you navigating being a starting quarterback?
Yeah, I kind of see it as I got 2 big brothers in the room. Russ might reach a little bit of like unk status a little bit. But they're both, my big brothers out there, and, the wisdom they shed off of me has been huge, and, they've done it for a long time, and they've succeeded at the highest level. So, I mean, in a very unique situation to have those guys, and we have a great relationship off the field too. So, really just blessed and grateful to have those guys in the room.
It's probably a little different too, because in college, I'm sure you obviously had older guys that you looked up to, but here you have 2 guys who've played a long time. So for you leaning on them at this point, does it just feel like endless resources, I guess, from those 2?
Yeah, I mean, I can come with them. I can come at them with any question, that I have or any concern that I have, and they've probably been through it, multiple times. So, like you said, it's cool to just have those guys in there and be able to ask, as many questions as I need to.
Jaxson, what have you learned about yourself over these past few weeks and how you handle and just deal with adversity from games to injuries and things like that?
I feel like I've, had a lot of adversity just in my career. So, I've had to make strides, when things didn't really look the brightest in moments. So, for me, losing hurts. Like, it crushes us, just because of like the work that you put in and, the expense that you put out there on the field. And, that's just kind of how, I've just played the game. Like I give it everything that I have. So it definitely sucks when, some things don't go your way, but I'm also very optimistic. And, I see a bright future here, and I just know that it's going to take, each rep, each game, and you got to be able to just take advantage of those moments.
What's the counter for you now that you said that, the way they rush it, kind of like cage rushing you, trying to keep you from going laterally. Mm-hmm. What's the counter from you? Like, what do you have to do when other teams do that to you?
Well, I mean, it's very team specific. Some teams rush more guys than others on a, early down versus third down situations. So, honestly, I'm not really thinking too much about the rush. Like that stuff's more read and react to me. Like I try to never have my eyes down, seeing what's coming at me and around me, and I'm just trying to keep my eyes down the field. So quite honestly, I don't really think of that too much. I'm just trying to read and react when I'm out there on the field.
Thanks,
Jaxson, yesterday I saw on social media you visited Jersey Pediatric Cancer Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that experience like? What made you do that? And you plan on keep doing things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Children's Hospital, like that hits close to home with me and my family, with my sister growing up. So, that's definitely something that, I did in college too, and I want to continue to do that. And it's definitely special to see them and their perspective of life, and, them just finding joy in the little moments. Like, I'm so down because we just, lost a game, and they're able to go through some of the hardest things imaginable and put a smile on their face. So it's inspiring to be around them.
What do you think about the fact that Eli Manning's son is dressing up for you as Halloween?
I think it's awesome. I've met Charlie a few times. Obviously been around Eli a lot. And I think that, maybe like he said, he's a little disappointed that it wasn't him, but it's just a cool relationship, and I think it's awesome.
I'm sure Charlie isn't going to be the only one. I mean, do you expect trick-or-treaters to come around to your place?
Shoot, I hope so. I'm going to be ready.
You're going to have stuff for them?
Of course. Yeah, I love Halloween.